Hello and welcome to my video. This is a 2006 Transit Connect van. It's a long wheelbase, high top. The van is a 1.8 litre diesel right-hand drive UK based TDCi. 2006, so it's 15 years old. It's got 197,000 miles on the clock. So it's not brand new, but it's in really good condition. The previous owners have really looked after it, fully serviced throughout its use, and I'm absolutely delighted with it. The whole conversion has taken me about 8 weeks. At some point in this video, I'll give you a total breakdown of the costs involved. Everything in the van is designed to be removed so that I can use the van as a van, and I'm going to pop up in the future from a holiday in Scotland where I'm going next week to show you the van when it's in complete van mode. So this is the van in van mode. A lot of my money and a lot of the time has been involved in insulating everything. So there's insulation in all the doors and the walls and the ceiling and under the floor and above the cab and in the bulkhead. So the cab is cold, the sleeping compartment is kept nice and warm. A lot of the work I've done is insulating and ventilating the van, and I used quite a common method. The first process was to add sound deadening to the panels. I covered about a quarter of the metal, and that just stops all the vibrations and resonance, road noise, rain noise. The next layer was to add this insulated recycled plastic bottle insulation. It's designed for use in people's lofts, and it's lovely to use. It's really soft, it doesn't make you itch, and it doesn't hold the water if unfortunately the van starts to leak. The next layer was insulated foam and silver tape to make a water barrier, and that covered everything up, ready for the next layer, which was plywood. To get the walls and door cards the right size, I used CAD, so cardboard aided design, to make a template and draw around onto the ply and then cut it out. I've used 9mm ply on the floor, 3mm ply on the ceiling, and 5mm ply on the walls. And then everything was covered in 4-way stretch carpet using this spray glue so that all the walls and the ceiling are completely covered. Here in the front I've got a solid bulkhead on this side, and on this side of the passenger side it's a removable wall that I've made. I've used Velcro, and this half of the wall can be taken down. Mainly I did it because this seat here, when it's in its back mode, like that, comes into the van by quite a lot, and to put a bulkhead behind here, a solid one, meant that I didn't have room to fit the bed in on that side. On top of the cab I built a shelf, which is excellent use of space and fantastic storage, and the bulkhead is 9mm ply. It's very strong and it will stop any loads in the van from hitting the driver should there be a sudden cause to stop. It's got automatic doors. So let's load it up with a few of the very basic essentials that you need for camping. The bed is one of the most simple things I found. I like it because it's only got 3 legs and there's loads of storage underneath. The second piece of furniture I installed is the table. This is a flop down, flap up. The only reason I want it down is when the van is in van mode, when I'm transporting lots of things. Apart from that, it will be in the up position the whole time. That's it, table ready. And this week I decided I would buy a very small set of drawers to store food and more camping gear. They're not fixed, they don't slide around. There were wheels on the bottom, but I took the wheels off, so it will just stay under its own weight on the carpet. Inside the drawers I've got my small cooker. I've used these little cookers for years when I've been camping, and they're just brilliant. When I'm in driving mode, I just need to stop it from from falling over or sliding off. So I've got a bungee cord that just goes over the top, and that will keep it down. There we go, driving mode. Final thing to talk about is the electric. I don't need a lot, so phone charging, speaker charging, and some ceiling lights is all I need. But an item like this is really good. You can start the car. It's got a compressor for flat tires. It's got a USB output. It's got a 12-volt charger hole on it, which is like a cigarette lighter. So that's the one I use. The wires go up to the ceiling, and I've got two little 12-volt lamps that I use, one at the front and one at the back. One on the right and one on the left, and that's plenty bright for everything I need to do in the van. And then running down the side, I've got some LED lights, some little kind of disco party lights, and they will be attached by the time I get to Scotland. They can be all green, all blue, all red, multicolour, fade, flash. Welcome to Scotland, and the part of the tour that I'm going to show you around my van, which is in full camping mode. I'm on day 4 of a 12-day trip, so everything is now kind of fallen into place, and it's working really well. Ben Nevis is a few miles over there. I'm completely surrounded by mountains. It's a bit cold and rainy, but that's the weather for you. It will hopefully be nice tomorrow. So let's go into the van and have a look around. First of all, we've got the bed. It's a camp bed. Set of legs at the back, set of legs in the middle, set of legs at the front. On that I've got an air bed, which I like, and sleeping bag, and a couple of blankets for when it gets cold. Pillows at this end, but it's reversible. I could have pillows at that end, depending if I sleep this way or this way. Above the bed I've got all the storage, kind of lightweight clothes in the bag. There's a few things stuffed down the back. The centre section I've got trousers, other hiking gear. At the back on this side I've got all my swimming gear, and wash bag is here on the left. The front is still pretty empty. iPod and speaker on the front, and I'm currently drying a towel from yesterday's swim on the front seat, so it's slightly nipped forward. And then the chest of drawers I've put onto this position. Top drawer I've got plates and bowls, and in the bottom I've got the food. There's a few hooks around, and that's to clamp the water bottle on when I'm driving. Also at the moment the drawers are pushed that way quite a bit because I've got the seat down, and that gives me a slightly more bigger space in here. But because these are not fixed down, I can put them in any position. Under the bed I've got quite a lot of gear going on. The battery pack is hidden in there, lying on the floor on its left. On the right hand side I've got my bin, which is just a plastic bag, and this is my cool box, which isn't very cool, but it does keep all the fresh stuff fresh for a couple of days. And then underneath the table I've got 4 boxes. I've got some little blocks of wood, so a couple of blocks of wood under these legs on this side will just make the bed horizontal enough for me to not worry about falling out. Haven't used them yet, but they're there just in case. These are my LEDs, and they came in a 10-meter run. I've split them into 2 half-meter runs and stuck them up with little sticky hooks, and then I've extended between here and the other side using 3 little wires that are hidden above the door. Kitchen's working really well, so it is literally just 1 gas ring. I've got a metal back plate that I put there to keep the carpet clean, and this can move into any positions. I have got a fire extinguisher just in case anything goes wrong, and hopefully I can put the fire out in time to save the rest of the van. Up above I've just got my coffee and oil and toilet roll, and underneath the back I've got a spare water bottle, I've got another spare coat, and I've got a bucket with a lid. That's my emergency loo if I can't find anywhere to go. I've not used it yet, and you know, let's see, I might get to day 12 and manage to do everything in the woods. So the van's working really well. It's really warm and quiet. The amount of insulation I put in there is very, very adequate for the weather we had. Last night there was a storm, The van was rocking in the wind, you could hear the rain howling on the roof, but it wasn't loud enough to be a problem, and it was actually really warm as well. The amount of insulation that there is behind all the doors is fantastic. I also noticed this morning when I opened the flap to have a look out the front window and see what was going on, a whole bunch of cold air came in through the flap because the flap is made of insulated foam, and that just proved to me the fact that the front of the cab is cold when the back sleeping compartment is nice and warm. So that was nice actually to get that cold air in, because it showed me that all the effort that I've done to keep everything nice and warm, the floor, the ceiling, the walls, the bulkhead, there's so much hidden insulation, and it's all worth it. It all adds up. So if you're thinking of not bothering, just because it's hidden and it's expensive, then don't. It is really worth it. Oh, prices. Let's talk about prices. The total build cost for converting the van into a camper was £1,100. Over half the money was spent on all of the walls, insulation, carpet, sound deadening, and the timber involved in making those sound. I think it was a really good way to spend quite a lot of money, because when I found out in Scotland, it all felt that it was a really good investment. It was £100 for the ventilation, £100 on electrical, a little bit of van repairs were needed, the furniture was cheap, the blackout material for the cab was £40, and £35 on the kitchen and £15 on the fire extinguisher was what it was. So £1,100 was what I spent on the van in total. The van purchase was £1,350. Add that together with the build of £1,100 and you get a grand total of just under £2,500. The whole project took me about 8 weeks of evening and weekend time to convert it from a completely empty van to the finished camper van that you've seen now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found it useful. I've really enjoyed the process. I've really enjoyed all the design work. I've really enjoyed how everything has worked out. And if you're converting your own van, good luck. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.